Matthew, Aiken, and Richard Cartier went on an incredible adventure to the world's second highest peak. These brave climbers were driven by their love for excitement and wanted to conquer the mighty K2. But how did they turn their lifelong dream into a nightmare? And what challenges did they face along the way that they never even expected? Dubai Fahmy, a social media expert, made sure that people worldwide could follow their every step and celebrate their victories. However, K2, also known as Savage Mountain, is no ordinary challenge. Its harsh weather, dangerous slopes, and deadly avalanches have ended the dreams of many adventurers. Yet Matthew, Richard, and Dubai didn't let that discourage them. They were determined to face the risks and conquer unknown heights. The mountains had an irresistible allure for these thrill seekers. Their hearts beat with an unquenchable passion for the excitement of the unknown. K2, the ultimate pinnacle of their dreams, called to them like a mesmerizing melody. And so, Matthew from Australia, Richard and Dubai from Canada embarked on their risky journey in early July. These skilled climbers were well prepared and had extensive training to tackle the risks ahead. They believed nothing could stop their strong spirits. The base camp marked the starting point of their exciting journey to conquer the peak they had longed to reach. At first, everything went smoothly. The weather was good, the winds were calm, and there was no snow in sight. With their experience, Matthew and Richard easily overcame challenges, steadily moving closer to their big goal. The summit of K2 felt within their grasp, and their dreams were about to come true. But as they say, mountains can be both beautiful and dangerous. In an instant, the scenery changed, revealing its harsh and unforgiving side. The weather suddenly worsened, and the climbers faced treacherous conditions. A sudden blizzard arrived, causing a huge avalanche. The situation became tense and doubts started to creep in. Should they turn back? Should they give up on their dreams? However, Matthew couldn't resist the allure of K2. With determination in his eyes, he encouraged his companions to keep going, even though the circumstances seemed overwhelming. Ignoring the warnings of experienced climbers who advised against continuing in such dangerous conditions, Matthew and Richard decided to keep going. The weather showed slight improvement, and they saw this as an opportunity to conquer K2 and return on the same day. Some might say it was risky, but their strong determination pushed them forward. On July 21st, Dubai shared an update on social media describing their challenging journey. They faced freezing cold, struggled to catch their breath, and felt exhausted after 16 hours of continuous walking. Base Camp 4 was at an astonishing 7,600 meters, and everyone anticipated their imminent arrival. Richard, realizing how much the climb had taken a toll on him, made the tough choice to descend with Dubai. However, Matthew, fueled by an unyielding spirit, decided to continue, refusing to give up when victory was so close. Step by step, he moved closer to the summit, conquering physical and mental obstacles that would have deterred many others. Finally, the base camp erupted in celebration as news arrived of Matthew's successful climb. Cheers of joy filled the air as the mountaineering community honored his achievement. His unwavering determination and strong motivation had paid off, forever securing his place in the history of mountaineering triumphs. Just when success seemed close, the weather suddenly changed. Aiken was told to start going down because the conditions were getting worse. He was excited to reunite with his friends, not knowing the tragedy that awaited them all. Richard, who had decided to quit earlier, was expected to reach Base Camp 1 by now, but fate had something cruel in store for both of them. What started as a promising descent quickly turned into a heartbreaking nightmare. The weather became much worse, and every minute made their journey darker. They were trapped in a fierce snowstorm, fighting against the relentless snow and ice. As they made their way down to the base camp, they got separated and fought desperately to survive. But the storm was unforgiving. It grew stronger, covering their path with meters of dangerous snow. Their radio devices stopped working, cutting off their connection to the outside world. Back at base camp, their team tried to contact them, filled with worry. They called for help, and rescue teams prepared for a daring mission. A race against time began as brave rescuers risked their lives to find Matthew and Richard. There was hope amidst the dangerous conditions, and the mountaineering community held their breath, hoping for their survival. But despite the determined efforts, the mountains refused to give in. Matthew and Richard remained hidden, covered by nature's icy blanket. In a very sad turn of events, they were declared missing and believed to have died, leaving a big hole in the hearts of their loved ones and the mountaineering community. Exhaustive searches were done for a long time, but hope slowly turned into accepting the sad truth. Amidst the snowy landscape, the rescuers saw two unmoving figures that were undoubtedly Richard and Aiken. Their lifeless bodies revealed what had happened. Richard took his last breath near the Japanese Camp 1, where Aiken was buried under a heavy avalanche near the advanced base camp. Despite the sad circumstances, there was a glimpse of nature's beauty. Aiken's final resting place, though frozen and harsh, was not completely hidden. Everyone knew where he was, and it served as a poignant reminder of the unpredictable forces that took his life. It was on that fateful day, July 22nd, that these two mountaineers said their goodbyes, leaving the world in shock. The family made a very heartfelt and sincere request, and the close group of mountain climbers all came together in a really amazing way to honor and remember Aiken. They knew it was risky to leave his body in the snow, where it could be harmed later, so they quickly organized a rescue mission. It's incredible, but Aiken's family, friends, and even kind strangers raised a huge amount of money, $74,000. The money was used to get the important equipment needed for the rescue and to cover other costs like permits, fees, travel, and gear. It's really touching because Aiken was always kind and caring, so any extra money that was raised went to help other people in need. This shows how Aiken's generosity lives on and continues to make a positive impact. February happened to be very lucky for the brave rescue team, since it was the safest time for them to go on their daring mission because the weather was better and there were fewer dangerous avalanches. With strong determination and the help of experienced climbers who knew Aiken well, the team started their dangerous journey. They knew it was a very important and serious task. For 3 tough weeks, these brave people fearlessly traveled through the cold and unforgiving land. They stayed strong and worked together, even though it was difficult in the harsh winter. They were surrounded by huge and beautiful mountains where danger was in charge. Their main mission was to bring Aiken's lifeless body back to civilization so that he could be honored and respected. Every difficult moment they faced on the dangerous path made them even more determined. They were committed and didn't give up as they continued towards their important goal. They weren't afraid of the tough challenges that awaited them. They knew they could overcome them with their strong spirit. With the help of GPS technology, the brave rescue team found where Aiken was laid to rest. The harsh conditions made it impossible to move his body from the snowy grave. As a result, they chose to lay him to rest at the base of K2, alongside other mountaineers, including Richard Cartier. In a remote and inaccessible area where the mountain's presence is overwhelming, Aiken's sister, Bonnie, expressed her family's deep sadness for being unable to attend the burial ceremony. The 7-day trek to reach the site was too difficult for them. However, even in this heartbreaking situation, the family found comfort in trusting Aiken's friends, who had shared many climbing adventures with him. These trusted companions would ensure that Aiken's burial would be done with the utmost respect and dignity, honoring his extraordinary spirit. Aiken's family felt overwhelmed with gratitude for the rescue team's efforts. Knowing that their beloved Matthew Aiken would be laid to rest with the respect he deserved brought them great relief. The leader of the team, an experienced climber who preferred to remain anonymous, urged everyone to seize this opportunity to say goodbye to their friend. Despite the dangers involved, he emphasized that Aiken's location was close by and easily accessible. He encouraged them to embrace the mix of happiness and sadness that accompanies such moments. Drawing from his 30 years of mountaineering experience, he talked about the range of human emotions he had seen and highlighted the beauty of a respectful funeral, a powerful gesture filled with love, hope, and deep respect. By lucky chance, the opportunity to bid farewell to their dear friend had been given to Aiken's family and friends, and they were filled with immense gratitude.